Hey, it's Kaufman is alive. Today, I'm going to be talking about Forbidden Door 2025 in 3 words or less. I did a prediction show as well, so go check that out on my channel. And please like the video while you're here and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. This is a brand new channel where I'm covering pro wrestling. Please go check out my other channel. If you like comic books, Kaufman is Alive Comics. So let's get into this. First of all, we had the 0 hour pre-show. The 3 words I would give for the 0 hour is too many tags. Going in, I really didn't know what the card was, and so just one after the other, we kept getting all these multi-man tags. It was just too much. And also considering the fact that the main event was a giant 10-man steel cage match, I just felt like this was kind of burning out the crowd almost before the show even started. And there were some good wrestlers on this pre-show, and there was some good wrestling. There were some wrestlers on this pre-show that I felt like deserved to be on the main card. It was kind of sad seeing them on the 0 hour, like Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Samoa Joe, who got a huge reaction the whole time he was out there. I almost kind of wonder if the 0 hour has a double meaning, as if everybody who's on the 0 hour are a bunch of zeros because they couldn't make it onto the main card. I kind of doubt Tony Khan would be that mean-spirited. That does seem like something WWE might do. But again, there's just way too many multi-man tags on these opening matches here. It just all kind of ran together. I'm not going to go through everything move by move or even give you all the results. You can go on other websites and other YouTubers and get all that stuff. I'm just giving you my kind of stream of consciousness thoughts as we go through this here. There was kind of an awkward segment with Martha Hart. She brought out her and Owen Hart's son Oj, and Tony Khan was out there with them. This was very, very awkward, but I always get a kick out of seeing the Martha Hart Tony Khan combination on screen. It's always extremely entertaining. But honestly, I don't understand why they do this. They really need to stop giving a microphone to Tony Khan, much less Martha Hart. And Oj was there too. But it was very awkward because they were like, we're here for MJF, but we also like Hangman, so we think he's going to win. It was just bizarre. And again, I don't understand what they were doing here. Then we had there was a corny Young Bucks promo backstage as well during the 0 hour, which kind of set up the main event. They were telling some production crew member to get their original song and get thumbtacks and all the most violent weapons and put him under the ring for them, or they were going to super kick him. And you could see where this was going a mile away. Once the main event came around, the production assistant had put gummy bears under the ring instead of thumbtacks, and they had given the Young Bucks original song. It was Bop by Hanson. It was their original song from when they were backyard wrestlers that they came out to in here to kind of embarrass them. So that continued, that storyline of the Young Bucks being humiliated by AEW's production team is continuing. One thing I do love about AEW pay-per-views is there's no bullshit ads. It's just all wrestling. You go from match to match. There's not 5 to 10 minutes of ads in between matches like you get in a WWE pay-per-view. So the first match on the main show was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus Kip Sabian and Killswitch. And the 3 words I would give for this match would be the wrong opponents. I didn't think this was the right opponents for Copeland and Christian for their big reuniting. They were just very weak opponents, even though this is a storyline that's been going on for a long time. Killswitch and Kip Sabian have not really teamed up before. That did kind of come into play during the match too, where they seemed to be kind of on different pages. There was the weird spot where Luchasaurus or Killswitch put Kip Sabian on his shoulders, and I don't know what they were attempting to do, but it just turned into Edge spearing Kip off of Luchasaurus's shoulders. So I don't really understand what was the point of that move, and they didn't really play up Adam Copeland and Christian Cage having any sort of miscommunication, or there was no storyline about them not getting along. They didn't really tease that at all. they just pretty much demolished Kip Sabian and Luchasaurus here and won the match. So pretty underwhelming, to be honest with you, for the opener. And I don't really think it fit the Forbidden Door kind of motif of the show, where you're supposed to be having all these wrestlers from other promotions. These were just two AEW tag teams. I guess you could say Copeland and Christian teaming for the first time is kind of the Forbidden Door. Then we had the TNT title match between Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi. The 3 words I would give this match is a chant that you hear at a lot of AEW shows: "This is wrestling." I really felt like this was just one of the best pure wrestling matches of the whole show, just a one-on-one title match between 2 guys. And I felt like the crowd really wasn't into it at the beginning of the match. They both obviously kind of respect Kyle Fletcher for what he can do. Maybe part of the crowd didn't really know too much about Takahashi. And I'd said in my preview that this match could steal the show. And it was one of the best matches, probably the best match up to this point of the whole show. But I would say this is wrestling. Those are the 3 words I would give this match, because it just was a great wrestling match that the crowd really wasn't into from the beginning, but by the end the crowd was really into it, and they just wrestled a great match. Kyle Fletcher won with his brain buster. Then with TBS title match with Mercedes Moné defending against Persephone Bozilla and Alex Windsor, the 3 words I would give to this match would be, oh, there's CMLL. Because this was really the only match that had CMLL representation in this matchup. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. The whole Forbidden Door show's promoted as this big interpromotional event, but this really didn't feel like an interpromotional show too much. Just a lot of AEW matches, AEW wrestlers against other AEW wrestlers throughout most of the show. Except for this match, we had some opponents from all over the world, and Mercedes Moné won. My big question is, what are they doing with Mercedes Moné? I mean, they've had her basically be undefeated except for her match against Toni Storm, where she went for the AEW title, and she's got all these other championships, but she lost that match for the AEW title. Just some very odd booking, and I don't understand, again, what they're really trying to do with her when she's just got this totally undefeated streak, but then loses to Toni Storm and then just continues her winning streak after that. Very odd, unless they're going to be getting back to the Toni Storm Mercedes Moné feud, perhaps All Out. That's the only way I could see it going. Then we got the IWGP title match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness. The 3 words I would give to this would be mid-card world title. I just thought it was interesting that they put the IWGP, the prestigious world title from Japan, it just felt like a mid-card title match, and there was really no drama. I don't think anybody thought Nigel McGuinness was going to win this match. It was cool seeing these 2 Brits go at it in London. It's certainly a dream match. 2 different generations of guys. 5 years ago, I don't think anybody could have ever foreseen a match like this ever taking place, much less for the IWGP title in London on a major pay-per-view. So that's all really cool, and this was a great technical match. I think everyone kind of expected it to be. I loved Bryan Danielson's commentary, where he was saying, he was comparing Zack Sabre Jr. to a jazz musician who improvises, while Nigel's the more methodical wrestler who comes in with a game plan and has trouble adjusting. Well, that's all Zack Sabre Jr. does. And I thought that was just a great analogy for the 2 wrestlers, because they have similar wrestling styles, but they do contrast well, and they're pretty different. And that was just some great commentary all throughout the show by Bryan Danielson, who also recused himself from the main event, which that was a good touch. I really liked that as well. The 3 words I would give this next match is, what was this? The tag titles were on the line next, with the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, defending against FTR and Brodito, which is Brody King and Bandito. I had predicted that Brodito would win the tag team titles here by pinning FTR, and that's exactly what happened. I do hope this can kind of resurrect the tag division in AEW. but it does make me wonder what the entire point of this Hurt Syndicate tag team title run was. When it started, I was asking myself the same question: what is the point of all this? They really had no opponents, and now they've lost the titles, and it was in pretty goofy fashion too, as Ricochet and the Gates of Agony came out dressed as New Japan Young Boys or something, and kidnapped the Hurt Syndicate, took them out of the match. It was very weird. So this was just an odd match, but at least they got the tag titles on the right team, and now FTR can go feud with Edge and Christian. They don't need the tag titles for that feud, I don't feel like. We had Okada versus Swerve. This was for the AEW Unified title. The 3 words I would give to this match actually has to do with the post-match, and it's why Wardlow, why? Because after the match, after Okada beat Swerve clean, which was pretty unexpected, I did not expect that at all, for Okada to just beat Swerve clean, Wardlow came out after the match. Maybe that's because it was the unified title rules where they can't have interference, but it still begs the question why they brought Wardlow back after the match like this, where he just beat up a bunch of security guards and Prince Nana, Swerve's manager, while Swerve just watched on after getting his leg wrapped around the ring post by Okada. So it seems like Swerve's going to be out for a long time. So a lot of stuff happened here at the end of the match, post-match, but it didn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense. Why Wardlow came out like that, didn't attack Swerve, just made him watch him attack his manager and powerbomb a bunch of security guards. And then he kind of teased whether he was going to be with Don Callis and his family or not. And then he just hugs Don Callis and shows that he is with Okada and the Don Callis family. Takeshita comes out. They all welcome him into the family. So that was just an interesting post-match. The match was pretty good itself, but again, I think Swerve's going to be out for a while. Then we got Toni Storm versus Athena for the AEW Women's World title. The 3 words I would give this match is not Athena's time. Toni Storm defending against the ROH World Champion, Athena. I almost wonder if they're doing this match at Forbidden Door just to try to make it feel like interpromotional by having ROH a part of this show in some form, even though everyone knows ROH and AEW are pretty much one and the same. I thought Athena might break out in this match and have a star-making performance. I thought this might be a bloody brawl and Athena might actually win and become a double champion. None of that happened. This was a good match, but didn't steal the show or anything like that. And unfortunately, I bet we just see Athena go right back to ROH, and we probably won't see her again for a while in AEW, if I'd have to guess. Then we got Hangman Adam Page versus MJF for the AEW World title. Now, the 3 words I would give for this main event would be overbooked match. Now, this was a great match up until all the shenanigans. Once MJF started to try to get Hangman Page disqualified, because the stipulation was if Hangman got disqualified, he'd lose the title. And there was a callback to the Mark Briscoe MJF match where Mark Briscoe got his foot on the rope, but the ref still counted 3. They did that spot here, and this was also very awkward and kind of took me out of the entire match, unfortunately. Hangman put his foot on the rope, the referee counted 3, and then the referee just went unconscious after counting 3. He didn't ring the bell for MJF. MJF thought he won. And then Mark Briscoe's music hit. Mark Briscoe came out. He beat up a bunch of security guards, but then got stopped by some production assistants for some reason. So he could beat up the security guards, but not the production assistants. And after seeing Wardlow destroy all the security guards earlier in the night, how come Mark Briscoe couldn't? So he just comes about halfway down the aisle with his music playing, distracts MJF, and then gets sent into the back. While all this is happening, the referee is still out, and Hangman Page's foot is still on the rope. So MJF turns around, and he's trying to convince the referee that he's the champion, but then the referee sees the foot on the rope. This is 2 minutes have gone by. This just took me completely out of the match. Eventually, Hangman Page hits MJF, with the contract, he hits his Deadeye maneuver and then the buckshot lariat, and he's able to pin MJF. And hey, MJF does a great job. He's the best worker in the business as far as I'm concerned. Even when he's losing, he still makes it all about him. And as Hangman Page celebrates with the title, you're just left wondering, you know, what's left for MJF? Is he going to cash in this title? So kind of a disappointing match, to be honest with you, because everything leading up to it really ruined the finish. You knew MJF was not going to win because he still had this contract for a title shot. So you knew he wasn't going to win the title here. My whole question was, were they going to do a second match? Which they just did not do at all. So then we had the main event. The lights out 10-man tag steel cage match was the final match of the night. I really feel like this should have closed the show. You really could not have topped this. This was just completely insane. The 3 words I would give this match is insane acid trip, which is kind of what it was the whole time. You just don't see matches like this very often. You hardly ever see matches like this in WWE, and very rarely you just get a completely all-out insane match with weapons and a steel cage and 10 people in the ring all at once. This was absolutely insane. There's no way I'm going to cover it all. Darby Allin, of course, did some insane stuff. Now, they did do something that I did predict, which was writing Will Ospreay off. They seem to have broke his neck. And also what I predicted is the babyfaces would win this match, and that's exactly what happened. Definitely go watch this match before you die. It was a pretty crazy matchup. And overall, this was a very entertaining show. I feel like the undercard was a little underwhelming in spots, but by the end of the show, you got this incredible spectacle. There was lots of different styles of wrestling all throughout this show. So I definitely recommend giving this show a watch.